Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending the AIA 2020 Wellness by Design informational session to learn about the new program this year in 2020. This year's program will go through December 4th. It has begun, so you're free to access the new website. We have a new website that we're going to introduce today with Wellness Corporate Solutions. Just to give you a little bit of overview about the program, we have the same 3 pillars for those of you who are familiar with prior year's programs. We have prevention, awareness, and movement. But as I mentioned, we do have an exciting new portal that Danielle Teal from Wellness Corporate Solutions will talk about in a few minutes. Some other new features, we have a great mobile app with this new portal. And then we've added some immediate rewards called Pulse Cash, and Danielle will get into that in a little bit as well. The structure is set up the same, where if you earn 150 points, you'll receive $75, and 300 or more points, you'll be eligible for a $200 reward. All the rewards will be distributed in January of 2021. So I'm here now to introduce Danielle Teal from Wellness Corporate Solutions. Thanks for joining us today and doing this informational session.
Hi, and of course, happy to be back online with you guys. I'm going to move my screen over so you can all see your new portal if you haven't already logged in and seen it for yourself. This is your new portal dashboard. I'm signed into a demo account, so this is a fake person. However, I have gone in and completed some activities, so you'll see some completions and status updates on this account. If you haven't yet logged in and created an account, you can do so 2 ways, either on your mobile app or on your web browser. I'd recommend the first time going in and doing it on your web browser if you're able to. You can also download the mobile app and then use those same credentials you create in the registration process when you go in and use your mobile app. The mobile app is called just Virgin Pulse if you're looking for it in your app store. And I will say too, when you're going through the registration process, the first screen you'll see when you access the URL we've sent out via email will be a screen that asks you to put in your first name, last name, and date of birth. We ask for that information so that we can match you to our eligibility and make sure you are who you say you are and that you're eligible to access the portal. From there, you'll have to agree to a privacy in terms of use statement, which then will direct you to create your username and password. Your username should be an email. It does not have to be your work email. It can be any email you wish to receive. Say, for example, if you need a password reset, that will be the email that we use, but you will still continue to receive emails from Virgin Pulse to your work email address so that you see those updates and program promotions that we're putting out. However, your username can be any email. You can also from there create your password, which can be anything of your choosing. Once you create those 2 things, you'll be taken right here to this page you see on my screen. So I know this is very different from what we've seen in the past. Myself, when I first saw this, it was just, eye-opening, very, very different. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge that and let you digest what you're seeing here on the screen. For the sake of this demo, what I'm going to do is kind of scroll down this main center page and walk you through the different pop-ups and activity tiles you see on the dashboard. And then we'll go throughout this top navigation bar and review the different items that are available for you to access here. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge this, what we call a card in the center of your dashboard. There will always be some kind of card here. Right now, it's the health check for me. This is something that I started going through, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a moment. Once I complete this, a different card may pop up. Once you complete the health check, I will say that based on the information you put in your health check or health assessment, that will help the portal populate different promotions for you. That's part of the customizability piece of this new platform, is that information you put in your health check and also information that you express via your interest in your profile will help the portal to then populate certain information for you specifically. So what I see on my dashboard may be different from what my neighbor sees, what my colleague sees, what Patty sees. So just be aware of that. This will always change once you've completed or finished whatever it is that it's promoting. So I would recommend doing the health check just as a way for your portal to customize for you. Let me give you a brief look at what this looks like. I'm going to click continue. And it's asking me different questions. The topics are listed up here at the top. So this question, I can select here, press next. It'll keep moving me through until I get my result, which is a health score. You don't have to complete this in one sitting. This is something that you can revisit, as I have done. So say, a meeting pops up and I'm right in the middle of it, I can X out and revisit at another time. That will then show me the next item I was going to move to. You see these circles on the left-hand side. The cards is what we were at previously. This little circle is ways to earn. So this gives you a snippet look at different activities and their point values that are available within the program. So it's just a quick way to look at it. If I had completed my health check today, it would then populate over here with a check mark. The next circle on the left-hand side are some tracking updates. So we'll go into more detail with regard to tracking here shortly, but I do want to point out you can get a quick look right here from your main dashboard. I'm looking at steps. If your device specifically tracks your sleep and active minutes, those will also populate. So as I continue to scroll down, another thing I want to point out is this background image. This is something that you can change by clicking on this camera icon. So let's say, for example, I just want to look at the different stock photo options that they have here. This one looks pretty. I'm going to see how's it looking. I can also upload a photo of my own. So say I want to put a picture of my family or a vacation or something of your own preference. You can customize your profile in that way. Now, as I continue to scroll down, I'm going to see some different features that are available to view in this top navigation bar as well. But what the main dashboard does is kind of give you a quick look at some different opportunities that are available for you. So I'm going to first talk about this friends leaderboard that you see over on the left-hand side. I already have a few friends within the organization. If I choose to want some more, I can click add friends. It'll show different options for suggestion. I can also find by name if there's someone that didn't pop up in my suggested friends. And then something interesting too that you can do is invite friends outside of your company. So it could be your children, your spouse, whoever it might be that you want to have participate with you to an extent on your wellness journey within the AIA. You can invite them to have a slimmed down look at your profile and be able to chat along with different challenges you're doing or maybe goals that you're trying to reach and be part of that experience. So this is definitely a new and different feature to add friends. It's not something you have to do. There's no rewards associated with doing this, but if you choose to, you certainly can. If you look to the right, you'll see this opportunity for a one-day throwdown. So this is a different challenge opportunity that is completely different from what we've experienced before. In the past, we've had, our steps challenge and maybe some other different smaller challenges throughout the course of the program year. Within this platform, we'll certainly still offer our company-wide steps challenge, but there are some additional challenge options that you can participate in on a personal level or maybe on a peer-to-peer level. So this is prompting me to start it up. If I want to, I can kind of look at more details about what is this one-day throwdown. This is specifically related to movement. So if I want to, and I will point out to you, you can read the challenge rules, gives you some more insight into what this is talking about. If I choose to, based on that description, start it up, I'd click start it up. I earn some Pulse Cash for creating a personal challenge. So this one is a personal challenge, but what I can do is invite players and make it a peer-to-peer opportunity. So similarly to how you can invite friends, I can invite people to do this one-day throwdown with me. I will say with these personal challenges, or maybe it's a peer-to-peer challenge because you've invited some of your friends, they aren't something where you're getting email updates and a lot of different prompts throughout the course of it. This, for example, is just a one-day deal. You can choose, there's opportunities, and I'll show you this momentarily, to do kind of a weekend rumble, it's called, or maybe a weekday, so a full week kind of personal or peer-to-peer challenge. The idea is that it's here as a kind of a sense of accountability for you. So if you opt to do this, it's there as a, hey, I remember I signed up for this, I want to stay committed and follow through. So if you, for example, have been traveling a lot this week, and you say, today, I really need to get at least 7,000 steps, or maybe you're shooting for 10,000. This is just a good motivator and a way to stay focused on that goal. So again, I came to this directly from my main dashboard. There are additional challenge options that I'll show you here in just a moment, but this one happened to be what was promoted to me at the time. As I continue to scroll down, I'll see my steps. This is just a snippet of my steps if I want to quickly log some from yesterday because I forgot and I don't have a device synced yet. I can enter in some steps, and I'll do so right now. So I got 8,000 yesterday. I'm going to save those, and it will then show here. I can go back and backlog for additional days if I need to, and I'll show you where that feature is available within the tracking page. That's the main dashboard. It's pretty simple and easy to use once you get familiar with looking at it. I will say you'll probably spend a lot of time clicking here at the top navigation. So I'm gonna go there. I do want to point out a few sidebar things before we get to those tabs. So if you click this logo at the top, it'll take you back to the home page, which I'm already at. And then this image on the right-hand side is your profile. So I choose to add a profile picture, but I'd like to go down these different profile pieces before we talk more about these pages, just because when you first log in, I would recommend that you visit some of these pages, your profile and your interests most specifically. So let me click profile. I'm going to show you what this looks like. I have a profile picture set up. I can also edit my cover photo. This may look to a lot of you like a social media page. And if you did, for example, invite friends outside of your organization, this is what they would be able to see, the information that you've put on your profile. They wouldn't be able to see your biometric information or anything about your health risk assessment that you may have input. It's simply just a look at your profile. So I can edit my title, department, or location. I can also get really excited about my profile and start to input some really specific information if I want to share that with folks within my organization. So you can see the questions that it's prompting you to enter if you want to get really detailed. And you can also indicate your kind of a wellness goal underneath here, why you're involved in the program and what motivates you to be well. I can see my friends and if I have a device linked on my profile page as well. So I'd recommend quickly going and setting this up so that as you may receive friend requests or want to send some out, you have some substance built out here on your page. I really want to encourage everyone to click on interest though. This is something that you can edit throughout the course of the program year, and it will help the platform tailor content towards what your interests are, and especially based off of what we're promoting within the AIA. So say for example, I wish this were true, but say for example, I got sleeping well down. I feel like that's something I don't need as much focus on, but I'd like to talk about or learn more about reducing stress, maybe staying safe. I can select those and then I'll receive different cards and prompts for those kind of interests as well as what I indicated in my health check. Pillars is an interesting tab. It talks about different wellness pillars, just generally speaking. I can click on some of these, say, well, I unclicked sleeping well, but let's look at sleeping well. It'll talk about different sleep resources. This is something that AIA has as a program promotion. It'll give you different personal challenge options that are in line with sleeping well, so say sweet silence. This is a personal challenge. Again, I can invite folks to be involved in this with me. Your goal is to achieve success 5 out of 7 days, and you can read the challenge details and start it up. So pillars is something that you can visit just if you're like, what is it that I can focus on? I'm not sure what it is I need to read more about, or maybe what journey or workshop I should do. You can kind of visit the pillars page for some ideas. My goal, this is a page where you can indicate a wellness goal. This isn't something that we're rewarding for points or cash this year, but I would certainly encourage everyone to indicate their wellness goal, and you can update it throughout the course of the program year. You also see some statistics on the value of setting a goal and how that can help you in your journey. So visit this page if you have a few moments of time. And then I'm going to continue to scroll down here, trophy case. If, for example, well, I actually did earn some trophies because I registered my account and went mobile with downloading my app. There are other trophies available, and those will be shown here on your trophy case page. Devices and apps. This will be a big one, as I highly encourage everyone to try and sync with one of the options here. If they have either one of these devices or apps listed, I will say it's not a requirement. You can still earn the full program reward if you aren't able to sync or you choose not to sync, for example. These are selected based off of industry research for what devices and apps are most used, especially in conjunction with a wellness platform like you all have. So that's where these are pulled from. It's not just a random selection of different devices, but it's a pretty seamless process to sync. I'm familiar with Apple Watch, so that's what I'm going to click on. It'll walk you through the steps on how to sync your device. And I will say feedback we've received thus far is that this process is very simple. Okay, so I have some additional tabs just because this is an admin test account. I will point out, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but there is a Virgin Pulse store, and it has a myriad of different wellness and fitness related items for sale at a better cost if you're curious to look into those. You can use your Pulse Cash that you receive within the platform at the store. You don't have to. You can use them in other ways, and I'll show you those here shortly. You can also access a support line, but I will point out that this chat feature and support box are here for you to click on any page that you may be on within the platform if you need help. The folks that are available to chat to you through these features are aware of your program. They're in touch with me, so hopefully it'll get you the help that you need. Okay, I'm going to now go through this top navigation bar, and I will point out to you that whatever page you're on within the platform, you should see this rewards tracker up at the top. So it'll show me I've earned 125 points already. I've got 175 left to go if I want to get the maximum of 300 points, which would get me $200. It also shows me how much Pulse Cash I've earned. We'll go into more detail on how to use that once we go through these top tabs. I'm going to start with programs. This is a page that Patty and I will be working throughout the course of the year to keep updated. What you see now is things that are relevant here at the beginning of the program, and some of them might stay. 4P Foods, for example, EEOC notice. We'll keep those things here, but we'll also continue to update this page with more programs that may be relevant. If you'd like to, you can filter this page. So it may get to a point where maybe there's a whole lot of programs listed, and say you're only interested on one of the topics that are listed here on the left-hand side. These are different interests that I've expressed. So it's saying, hey, these are your interests. If you want to filter the programs based on those things, feel free to, and it'll tell me what programs are relevant. I'll point out too, while we're on this page, that the biometric screenings page will be a single sign-on experience straight to your scheduler for biometric screenings. Currently, those dates are not set, as they're a little too far in the future to have that currently being scheduled, but I will say when the time does come, click here and you'll be taken directly to that scheduler link without having to re-sign into any new page. Next, I'm going to visit challenges. So as you all know, I enrolled in the one-day throwdown earlier on in this presentation. So that's listed here. If there was a company-wide challenge, or maybe someone had invited me to their own personal challenge, that would be listed here as well. So the challenges page will show you what you're currently enrolled in. I can also create a challenge directly from this page. As I mentioned earlier, there's the option for the one-day throwdown. That's what I'm currently enrolled in. You can do a weekend step, or excuse me, a weekday step off, or a weekend rumble. And those are just time frames that the challenges last. So either over the weekend or Monday through Friday, or maybe just one day. So those are personal challenge options. It also lists different healthy habit challenges. So healthy habit challenges are your third challenge option. I know there's a lot, and feel free to ask any questions or direct to Patty or myself, or the chat feature support line about the different challenge options, because I know it's quite different. But these healthy habit challenges, there's different topics that you can look at and choose from, and there's quite a few to look at. So I encourage you to come here, click around and see what you might be interested in. So you can choose from those different topics as well. Okay, tracking. We'll spend a good amount of time on this page. I want to make sure everyone feels as comfortable as they can with the tracking page. I know this is something that a lot of folks have interest in. So let me first scroll down and show you the different topics that are listed under tracking. We've got steps, workouts, active minutes, calories consumed and burned, sleep, and then from there you'll also see different biometric measures. Our goal is to have this loaded with your historical biometric data so that you can see where you're at in the past. And then when you have screenings this year, this is where that data will upload should you participate in the screening event or an offsite option. That data will populate here. So some of these tracking features are self-enterable, to use that word, and some are not. They have to be synced. Steps, let's start there, as you saw earlier, is something that I can manually log. So I can do that for yesterday or any day in the past I choose to. Workouts is something I can also manually log. It's not a rewardable item, but I will point out, if I log a workout, say for example, I did, let's say I did bodybuilding for 60 minutes. It gives me a converted step total. Oh, I put 61. So I did it for 60 minutes. It gives me a converted step total. So what I'm going to do is actually do this for yesterday. And so I did bodybuilding for 60 minutes. It gave me just over 7,000 steps. I will save that, close out. And then the neat thing is, if I click on my converted step count here in this filter, it will show me that step count here. So while log a workout isn't a rewardable item, you can convert your workout to steps, which is a rewardable item. So I want to make sure that's clear. Active minutes is one that cannot manually log. If any of you are familiar with Apple Watch or Fitbit or some of the other devices, you'll notice while you're exercising throughout the day, it'll show you a total minutes and an active minutes. The active piece of that is based off a calculation from your heart rate. So that's not one that we can manually enter, but if you have a device synced, that will populate here. Similarly with calories consumed and burned, that's more of a mathematical equation that we want to have come in from verified source, such as a device. So these are not manually loggable, and neither is sleep. So I'll just point that out. There are some of these features in here. Some of them are for points, some of them are not, but I would just be aware of which ones you can manually log and which ones are not. So kind of these 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the center. Okay, and then again, your biometric measurements are at the bottom. Let's move on to the friends page. So from here, I can see my friends. I got Jonathan and Patty as my friends, and then it'll again give me people that I know. So you can access this from the dashboard as you saw at the very beginning, or you can come to your friends page to get a full look at your listing of friends. You can do the same thing here on this page where you can add and so on and so forth. Health, this will show me journeys. Journeys are also accessible on your programs page, but it is a drop-down item under health. A journey is synonymous with a workshop. So if you're familiar with the program in past years, there's the opportunity to complete workshops, which are simply online modules. They complete anywhere from a week to maybe a couple weeks of time to complete. And you can choose from a variety of different topics. Those are all listed here on the journeys page. It will indicate to you how long the journey takes to complete. And let's say, for example, I'm interested here. It'll give you a description of what the journey is about. Again, the time to build the habit or the time for completion, and the steps to go through in order to complete. So this isn't something that you could sit down and complete all in one sitting. We want to encourage, you do a certain piece of the journey, you process, maybe implement some of the behaviors or habits that you learned, and then come back to it. You can come back to it the next day, but it's something that we want you to take at least 10 days to complete. This is a rewardable item. So if you're interested in different topics and want to learn more, maybe you listen to and complete this while you're multitasking, or whatever it may be, it's something that you have as a resource. Okay, now your rewards page is one that I would encourage you to visit quite often. This will list out the entirety of the different activities available to you. On the left-hand side, you'll see I've got $15 of Pulse Cash to spend. It shows me how many points I've earned out of the total allowable points, and then gives you some prompts to remind you what the different tiers are within your program and what the reward values are. So say, for example, I want to redeem my Pulse Cash now. I can click here on $15 to spend, and it will take me to the different options for redemption. So I can shop the store. As I mentioned earlier, Virgin Pulse has a store with some discounted wellness items available. I can select to get a gift card. It'll list out, there's a lot of different options for gift cards you can choose from. And then I can also choose to donate my Pulse Cash, and it will list out some various charities that you can choose to donate to. So that's your Pulse Cash opportunity. Let's look at your additional reward options. So again, these are all listed out. It shows the point value available for each activity, and then a green check mark next to those activities that you have completed. Some of these activities are something that you can click on and self-enter. So say, for example, I want to connect my first activity device. It will take me to that page to do so. But some of these are not things that you can self-enter. For example, I can X out of here. For example, complete the biometric screening. That is an upload, obviously, that will complete once those screenings are done. So you won't see any kind of link to go to that activity, but it will be listed here on this page with your total point value available. Similarly, attended benefits there, that's a point upload that we'll do on the back end. So open enrollment. So just be aware that some of these, while each of them you can click on, not all of them you can do on your own. Some of them will be giving you points for.
Danielle,
okay.
can I ask a question?
Yeah, please do.
All right. So while we're in the Pulse Cash, if I'm in the store and I don't have enough Pulse Cash to spend, like say my item that I want to purchase is $25 and I only have 15 to spend in your example there, can I add like to it to get what I want, or do I have to save up?
That's a good question. I believe that you can add to it. And then I will say too, in terms of the saving up, you can use this Pulse Cash at any time. So if you remain an AIA employee into the following year, that Pulse Cash can be redeemed once it maybe accumulates to a higher amount. But I believe, and we can maybe test this out, you can shop the store and be able to add in your own payment information for whatever the remaining balance is. So yes, here I can apply my cash.
So that's the Pulse
and then
Cash.
I can enter.
Oh, gift cards. So can you just put in $15 since we have $15 on Pulse Cash, just to see what it
Sure.
can apply? So if you click check out,
yeah, I assume it will allow you to. I don't want to enter in all this information for myself
no,
right
no,
now,
no.
but it looks like it's giving you a balance that you can then pay for out of pocket if you choose to.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Give me just a moment to get back. Good question. And I will say too, actually in that store, the Max Buzz, if you don't have a syncable device, that's a pretty inexpensive one. It's $25. So if you wanted to spend your money, your Pulse Cash on that, or just buy it yourself, it's a pretty inexpensive device that will sync obviously with the portal and track your steps and other features for you. Okay, so let's look at Trophy, this Trophy icon. if, for example, I had a challenge invite, someone had invited me to participate in a personal challenge with them, that would pop up here. If someone had made a comment or chattered in a challenge that's ongoing, that would also pop up here. Similarly to social media platform, you would see a little icon that would tell you you've got an update. Before I go to calendar, I'm going to point out this bell. This will let you know if you have any friend requests or if you've had a friend accept a request of your own. So these are little friend updates. You'll also get an icon if you have any of those. Last but not least, I want to talk about the calendar feature. This is one that I hope you all use quite a bit. You can click on it directly and it will show you if there are any events this week, which we don't have any on my calendar, but you can also take a larger look at what's upcoming. We've had a few events here this past week that have already happened, so there were no updates there, but I can look at March, and if there's anything slated for March, which we have 2 events so far, you can click on those. It'll give you a description, and then you can add it to your Outlook if you want it in your calendar. If this was a event in which we had a cap to the amount of people we could accept, you would be able to register. So some of the events listed on the calendar will be registration items. Some will just be ones that you can pop into at whatever time it's starting. We will likely promote some of these calendar items on the programs page as well, which will then potentially populate as a card for you based on if you register for it, if it's in line with your interests. So a lot of workings together in some of these features, the calendar, the programs page, the cards that you see.
I also want to mention, excuse me, Danielle, that for things like you saw yoga yesterday, I believe it was, those and the wellness team will also be sending messages out on Yammer for that and for the signups as well. So we are trying to coordinate and making sure that we get all of the events posted in all the places. So we're trying to hit everybody. So if you don't see something one place, you may see it in another. And I'm working with Francesca, and hopefully when the weather gets better, we'll start kickboxing again, and we'll work with MJ on getting those updated here on this calendar as well as on Yammer. Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great point to add in. That was about it. We were able to get through that pretty quickly. The platform is fairly user-friendly. That is one of the main reasons we made this transition. And I'll just say as kind of an ending note, I hope this looks and appeals to all of you. We had received a lot of feedback, and it had been a long time coming for us to move platforms. So we chose Virgin Pulse. It's the leader in the industry in terms of technology, and we're really excited to be partnering there and offering this new platform for you all. I know with change comes growing pains, so please do not hesitate to use the chat and support features. I'm in touch with Patty and the customer care team, so I'm always here as a resource as well. But we just want to make sure you all feel comfortable with what's available. But I know there's a lot we could talk about, but Patty, any other closing words that you want to add in?
Yeah, I actually have another question too, because this one I think will come up a lot with some of the on-site activities like yoga, like kickboxing, like some of the lunch and learns that we coordinate with the wellness program and tie to. Where will employees see the points earned?
For on-site activities, let's take a look at the rewards page. They would be complete an on-site activity.
Okay.
Yep, and that's one that you can click on, but Patty, as you know, we'll be exchanging file feeds for who's in attendance. So as a note to anyone listening to this recording, make sure that you get credit for being wherever it is that you go. And then Patty and I will work together to make sure that points are uploaded here for you.
And just to know, we are going to try to upload them once a month for all the activities in the month. So give it it might be a week or two before they are, depending on when the event is held and how many events are there that month, so that before you worry about not receiving them.
Right. Good point. Good point.
The other thing I also want to mention too is just as far as the registration process, we've had some questions about not being able to register. You have to use your legal name. Whatever your legal name in the system is how we're transferring that information via file feed over to Wellness Corporate Solutions. So you will need to use that to actually register. And once you do that, so like what you saw on Danielle's friends, Patricia is my legal name. So it showed as Patricia on there, even though everybody knows me by Patty. So that's just a little example to make sure that you use your given name. But otherwise, thank you so much, Danielle.
Yeah, no, that's it. Of course. And just to remind everyone, this is all available on the mobile app. So download the Virgin Pulse mobile app after you've gone in and registered. You can register on your app if you choose to. Both are valid options, but hopefully that's a well-used feature that's now more accessible. There was an app in the past, but this one's better.
Great. Thank you so much, Danielle. I appreciate it.
Of course. All right. Of course.
All right.
Bye, Patty. Bye.